Hi, I like talking about movies and I want to talk about movies, but it's not fun anymore. I originally wanted to make a video about some recent movie news, film news that I wanted to talk about because there's some really fun stuff going on in movies this year. Movies that are coming out right now and coming out soon, and I really wanted to talk about it, but something darker came to mind, and it's the fact that movie discourse just kind of sucks now, actually. There is nothing I hate worse in the modern day now than talking about a movie online, because it isn't as fun as it used to be. Gone are the days of fun little forums for fans and stuff like that to converse with each other about fun little movie theories and fun facts about the movies and TV shows that we're all getting really hyped up about. That's gone. That's out. That's all gone now because the only thing the internet cares about now is negativity, and that's not necessarily to say that everyone on the internet cares about being negative about stuff, but the algorithm itself is rewarding negativity on pretty much everything now. Twitter is a hellscape of negativity that I had to leave a long time ago because it just wasn't fun to scroll anymore. And now even apps like TikTok are doing the exact same thing, coincidentally after they were bought out by the US. What seems to be a common trend on the internet is that nobody actually watches the thing that they're hating on before they want to make a comment about it on the internet. One of the big things that comes to mind is the Resident Evil movie, which is coming out soon. They just dropped a trailer for it, which I thought was really fun. I really like the trailer. Then I go into the comments on the TikTok page, and all I see are people that hate it, even though it felt like a few months ago everyone liked it. Now people seem to be mad because it's in the modern day, because it's not taking place during the 90s, even though it's supposed to be taking place during the events of Raccoon City. I can see why initially that might be a problem for some people. However, why do we care? We have learned at this point that video game movie adaptations are just not good when they try to copy the game beat for beat. The same can also be said when they stray from the path, but that's when they stray too far, in my opinion. This looks like an interesting horror movie set in the Resident Evil universe, and people are mad because it's not directly in line with the video games, as if that matters literally at all. People are mad because Leon isn't gonna show up, or Chris, or Ada, or Jill, or Claire, or fucking Wexer. But why do we care? Why do we care that our favorite characters aren't going to be in our Resident Evil movie, even though we've gotten movies where our favorite characters show up and it was really bad? This movie, putting on the screen, this movie, bad, horrible. Still really fun to watch though. I hate the fact that so many movies require a bunch of knowledge about something before you watch it. We used to have so many auteur-driven stories that were just fueled by a filmmaker's idea of an interesting story that they wanted to tell. But nowadays, everything has to be a franchise, everything has to line up with the thing that came before it, everything has to be a reboot, a remake, a reimagining, a sequel, a prequel, a whatever the fuck. And I know that this has been said to death. This whole, literally everything that I just said has been said probably a million times about movies nowadays and the state of the filmmaking industry. But it's true. There's so many times where it seems like we're going in one direction, when it seems like things are getting better, because we get some really great independent films like Sinners or Obsession that just came out, and Christopher Nolan just dropped another movie that's getting critical acclaim, as he always does. But then immediately we're getting Avengers Doomsday, a CGI cameo slop fest that's filled to the brim with just shit that we know. Oh my god, it's the original X-Men from the early 2000s movies. Hey, how about an original X-Men movie, which I know is coming or whatever, but I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired of it all. Look, this is coming from a fan of superhero slop. I'm a fan of the Marvel slop. I was there for the Infinity Saga. I watched every movie. I was there for it all. I was excited for it. I watched Infinity War. I watched Endgame. Loved it, okay? But it's the fact that we just won't let things go. You're in the video now. We just can't let franchises come to a natural conclusion anymore. And I realize I'm starting to ramble, so I'll get back on track. Because a lot of the time, it's the fault of the fans. We fans, maybe not you watching this video, but a lot of fans get really mad when things aren't connecting together. Like with Resident Evil, people are mad that certain characters aren't going to show up, even though we're getting an actual original idea from a filmmaker. And that's what makes me really mad about the state of discussing movies today. Because you see something like Resident Evil and you get really excited for it, but all people want to talk about is how it's going to be dog shit. They are certain that it's going to be dog shit, even though all they have seen is a trailer. The movie is not out. It is not on our screen. It is not in our homes. It's not on our streaming service, but they are certain that the movie will be dog shit. Another example that's been really making me angry is the show Lanterns. It's coming out in August. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm happy that we're getting a decent Green Lantern adaptation in the modern day. However, people are not happy with Lanterns because the trailer didn't show green. At this point, the trailer before the show is going to come out has come out, and it shows a lot more green, all right? It shows a lot. It shows the green suits, green ring, green power constructs, and whatever. But people were saying that the show is going to be terrible. They were certain that the show is going to be terrible because it didn't show green in the first trailer. And look, I'm not defending the choice to not show green in the first trailer specifically, but it's a show about the green fucking lanterns. Obviously they were going to have green in the goddamn show, and people have written off the show entirely because of that first trailer, which just makes me so angry because it's not out. We haven't seen it yet. If the show comes out and it's terrible, terribly written, acted, shot, whatever, then okay. You get to be right, I guess. But you didn't know it was going to be bad just from watching that trailer. And even movies that are out now are just not given the proper benefit of the doubt for anything. The littlest thing that people can latch onto that they don't like can be the sole reason that they will never watch that movie again, and that it was terrible and it was dog shit. The fact that Superman wasn't invincible and he gets his ass kicked in a few fights, that made that movie terrible. I've seen that point a lot, is that Superman gets his ass kicked, and that's why that movie specifically is just the worst dog shit that James Gunn has ever made, and he should not be in charge of the DC universe. Because apparently people just don't want tension in their films, I guess. And this doesn't even include the people that say that every movie, TV show, whatever that comes out is woke. I understand that a lot of the discourse about movies being woke and stuff online, especially on places like TikTok and Twitter, is mostly driven by bots that were made by right-wing accounts that just want to spread misinformation about movies and just spread their hateful rhetoric about how, you know, black people shouldn't be in media and women shouldn't be the leads of their films and TV shows and whatever. But it's the fact that the algorithm is directly rewarding this kind of behavior on all of these social media platforms is just so tiring. And it's the fact that it's not all bots. It's the fact that a lot of it is real people that are just so filled with hate in their heart. It just makes me angry. It makes me sad for the world that we've come to this. When Supergirl came out, all you saw were just walls of images on certain comment threads that show some kind of, you know, ugly quote-unquote pic of Millie Alcock, or some camera angle that was slightly unflattering, or they paused the video in the middle of her talking, so obviously that looks unflattering, or just comments that are making fun of her appearance, or images that they're using to compare to other things to make fun of her appearance. It's just childish, it's just stupid, and I wish we could be normal when we talk about movies, when we talk about the actors in movies. It's obviously so clear that those people specifically just didn't like Supergirl because it was led by a woman. That is totally clear. And obviously we need to shut those people out. But we also need these social media platforms to shut those people out. We need those people to be punished for saying this kind of shit about another human being. Because it's degrading, it's disgusting, and it doesn't even further the discourse about the movie. We can't have genuine debates about the movie because you end up arguing with someone who just says that Millie Alcock looks like this funny image that they found that's been reposted 10 million times at this point. Not only that, but people take opinions way too seriously nowadays. People take someone else's opinion so personally that they have to personally attack them if their opinion doesn't line up with theirs. I've seen far too many comment sections about people defending certain movies that are coming out or have come out that someone doesn't think is good, and they will call you a fucking idiot for liking that movie. They will call you scum of the earth, a piece of shit, many other slurs that I cannot say in this video. Trying to talk about movies in 2026 feels like being in a Black Ops 2 lobby back in the day. So what am I trying to say with this video? I guess just be nice to each other. Let's just have good faith arguments about movies. Let's have nice, friendly discussions about movies that are coming out, about movies, about TV shows, about video games, anime, manga, comics, whatever. Let's just talk to each other like normal human beings, and we can disagree on what movies are good and bad. We are allowed to disagree on that. And the other person on the other side of your screen is not a fucking idiot for saying that Lanterns might end up being a good and fun project, and that we should wait and see how it is when it comes out. We need to have fun with the movies that we see, and we need to not microanalyze every aspect of them to try and find something to hate. And more importantly, we need more art. Honestly, we need a lot of these artist-driven movies and TV shows and whatever to come to light. We need more of these personal projects and personal stories to be brought onto the big screen, because we just need more than corporate slop, which is what we've been getting a lot of nowadays. If you haven't seen Obsession, go watch Obsession, but you've probably seen it. If you haven't seen Sinners, go and watch that. If you want more recommendations, let's check out next month Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, directed by Jane Schoenbrunn, who directed I Saw the TV Globe, which is also a really great movie that you might not like at first, but just give it some thought and give it a chance and be open-minded going into it, because it's a really personal story that I think a lot of us need to see, and many of us haven't fully grasped yet, especially in this day and age. If you want something that's not a movie, something short form, that it's actually really personal and interesting to watch, I recommend Keep the Meter Running, which is on TikTok. It's ran by the same guy that does Subway Takes, and he gets into a taxi cab in New York City with a random quote-unquote person, but obviously they definitely schedule some of that ahead of time. And he has them take him to their favorite spot in the entire city, and he has them keep the meter running, and they talk about this person's personal history, where they're from, who they are, what they love, what they've been through. And it's really interesting just to see these random people that you wouldn't see every day, just learning about their lives and their experiences. That really takes you out of your own mind and body for a moment. If you want something funny, that's also short form. There's a little show on TikTok called Time Travel Department, which is a really fun little show where they do a skit about someone who is applying to travel back in time to do some specific task or change some certain event. And it's really funny, and I don't know if it's scripted or improv. I think a lot of it is improv, and it's just hilarious, and you should check it out. If you're still not sure about any of my personal suggestions that I've given to you today, a really good way to gauge what you might want to see is just go through the Criterion Collection. It is about film preservation, and they have so many movies on there, and you don't have to necessarily buy the Criterion Collection streaming service or buy one of the movies off their website. You can find it through other means. You can go out to the store and buy it. You can purchase a cheaper copy online. You can get it on a streaming service. Whatever means you have of finding this movie, just go and watch it. And it's a big selection, so I understand if that can be a lot. Something I've thought about doing is going through my favorite filmmakers and celebrities and whatnot, and seeing their Criterion Closet videos and seeing their picks, and maybe one of those sounds interesting to you and you'll go and watch it. We just need to appreciate art a lot more, because it's what keeps our society going, whether we realize it or not. It's personal stories that we need to see because they give us a little more perspective and insight on the rest of our world. I hope this video wasn't too much rambling. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope maybe you agree with me. And if you don't, let me know. Let's have a nice and normal discussion. As always, be nice to each other, love art, watch movies, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.